Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Kirsten Holmes. Steve has the night off. We start with breaking news. A wrecking yard fire in the South Bay is sending huge plumes of smoke into the sky of San Diego. Fire crews are working to keep the fire from spreading as hundreds of cars continue to burn. News 8's Ariana Cohen is on the scene for us right now live with an update. Ariana, what can you tell us?
Yes, Kirsten, as you can see, dozens of firefighters are still on scene, and the deputy fire chief says 200 vehicles were destroyed at an auto repair facility and vehicle storage facility. They got many 911 calls around noon. 150 firefighters are on scene today. People were evacuated. No one was injured. Fire officials say only 4 homes were threatened and only 1 received some damages in the yard. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. There were multiple explosions. The chief says that was car tires, propane tanks, different engine blocks and specialized metals. I spoke with a man watching the large plumes of smoke in the sky and got more information from the deputy fire chief.
We've heard a lot of explosions, and of course they had semi-trucks down there that had fuel tanks in them, and you know that fuel gets hot enough and it's going to explode.
We do not have a good hydrant system down in this area, so we started calling multiple additional resources for our water supply, as well as the wind conditions. We have the Santa Ana conditions, and the wind conditions picked up significantly around noon.
And as you heard there, the deputy chief says water supply was an issue and intense winds were a factor. He also said embers coming off the large fires started multiple vegetation fires in this large field you're looking at here. They plan to be working overnight and tomorrow. Now, Cactus Road and Airway will be closed to the general public, Kirsten, but they are allowing residents back in. Kirsten.
All right, thank you for that update, Ariana. Today was another warm, dry day, and fortunately, fire crews were able to stop the wrecking yard fire from spreading, but will these conditions be sticking around? Meteorologist Sean Stiles joins us now with a first look at your microclimate forecast. Hey, Sean.
Good evening, Kirsten. It was definitely a warm day here in San Diego. 86, 75 is where we should be. So we're talking about well above average. And you combine that with the temperatures we've seen over the past couple days. Currently, across the county, we're still in the 80s. And as we heard, very, very dry conditions here in San Diego. Winds not a damaging factor, but definitely contributing to those flames being fueled as you have warm, dry air. As far as what we can expect, the good news is there is a definite cool down heading towards us. Tomorrow we're talking about 73 in the coastal area. Then we go much, much cooler. Strong onshore flow returns, so we'll see the increase of clouds. In fact, maybe even some heavy drizzle, light rain, depending on where you are. And for the folks in those inland microclimates, another warm one tomorrow, upper 70s. We're talking about a 78. Then we go to 67. And that is a light rain coming into those inland westerly facing slopes in the inland microclimates. And then we stay cool, 70 degrees on Tuesday. We'll take a look at what's causing us in the storm that is moving through the Pacific Northwest.
Thank you for that, Sean. You know, in the last few weeks, we have seen everything from rain to sweater weather and now hot, dry conditions. News 8's Heather Hope has more on the weather phenomenon that experts say may be responsible.
Kirsten, our weather has been so up and down lately with unusually hot temperatures today, a cool down expected, and we can't forget all about that rain and lightning we had in recent weeks. It's keeping firefighters on alert and the National Weather Service linking it to La Niña. A boom with the lightning strike in the night captivated San Diegans during a storm in recent weeks.
We're going to be on a roller coaster of weather, so to speak, over the next couple days.
National Weather Service meteorologist Alex Tardy says we continue to see rapid changes in temperatures and patterns this season.
Now we're just dealing with the ups and downs of kind of the normal fall weather. Hot weather going to cool, cloudy weather early next week.
Tracking an 8 to 14 precipitation outlook for our region, some light rain is expected, but that's not stopping current dry conditions from keeping firefighters on alert.
We still have a significant potential for today and even through this next week until we see that moisture, which will bring down the potential just a little bit.
CAL FIRE Captain Thomas Schutz says they expect Santa Ana wind events every October.
We know historically, 2003, 2007 are 2 worst fires here in San Diego County. Both happened that 3rd week in October, and that's because everything was so incredibly dry. And
not taking any chances, CAL FIRE remains at peak staffing and had its aircraft up early.
We've also brought in extra crews for yesterday and today to make sure that we supplement just in case we do have something start.
For the cooler weather we're to see, Alex Tardy says that could be due to La Niña down in the equatorial ocean south of Hawaii.
We're in a cold phase in that region in the tropics, and it's the opposite of El Nino, which is the warm phase.
In a La Niña, San Diego could see even drier conditions. So Tardy says our recent storms were helpful.
There could have been 1 or 2 fires that got out of control if we hadn't had those 2 soaking rains.
Rain that we got last week was great, and it bought us a little bit of time, but it was followed by hot, dry, windy days. Really, that rain has already been undone.
And with the constant changes we've seen in our weather, CAL FIRE says they plan to remain fully staffed throughout this season. Kirsten?
Thank you for that report, Heather. Okay, so the Black community in Southeast San Diego has a rich history with deep roots. And now that community is looking for official designation as an arts and culture district. Today, the Southeast Art Team welcomed city and county representatives to Marie Whitman Park in Encanto. They say the designation is long overdue.
We just feel like we've sort of been invisible. If you look around the county, you'll see other places like Little Italy, you'll see Chicano Park, you'll see just different organizations throughout the city that you know where you are when you get to those areas. And so for us, we just want that identity on the map.
Over the past year, the art team has hosted a number of pop-up galleries throughout the neighborhood to showcase local artists. The House of the Philippines hosted a festival at Waterfront Park in honor of Filipino American History Month. It's a chance to celebrate with music, dance, and you cannot forget all of that delicious food. Organizers also recognized Filipino American healthcare workers for their efforts during the pandemic. San Diego has one of the largest Filipino populations, actually the largest Filipino population in the entire country. And taking a few steps toward hope, hundreds gathered in Balboa Park today for Walk for ALZ. It is the biggest fundraiser of the year for the Alzheimer San Diego, and all of the money stays right here in San Diego. The organization offers free services to individuals and families dealing with Alzheimer's and other dementia. This year was a combined virtual and in-person walk, and listen to this, they raised more than $400,000. If you could use their help, visit their website at alzsd.org. And today in Oceanside, they were sweating it out to support breast cancer research. Dozens of women donned pink for their 9th annual Raise the Bar event at the Rising Company Fitness Studio in Oceanside. The international celebrity bar instructor Tracy Mallett was there. She led the free class with donations going right to the Susan G. Komen Foundation. Today, they were able to raise more than $1,200. All right, coming up for you, the special honor for a San Diego police officer who heroically saved a family who drove off of Sunset Cliffs. Plus, a look at some surfers who don't let life's challenges hold them back. And up next, wild video out of Oklahoma for you. A train slams through a semi truck that is stuck on the tracks. We have the story next.